Website investigation with the 5 W's. Now that you know what questions to ask, let's talk about where to find the answers. Let's look at a couple of websites for information on a medical condition. The first one is from an organization, and you can see this in the URL, which is a .org address. It's called the Live Care Grow Foundation, and here is a PDF giving an overview of the condition we're looking at. If you'd like to know more about an organization or a website or who put it together, it's always good to look for something along the lines of an About Us or a contact information page. So here we can look at the mission of this organization and see what they're all about. It's a national nonprofit devoted to eliminating the tragedy of this phenomenon by supporting the people who are affected by it and research that aims to eliminate it. So looking at this, while we definitely still need to be aware of out-of-date information or misinterpreted research, we can be fairly confident that they have no real motivation to not accurately represent the facts on the subject. So going back, we see that there are quotes in the body of the article, and that their references are cited down at the bottom. Taking a closer look at these citations, you can see that they're all properly formatted, and that they also seem to be academic articles from well-respected journals in the medical field. If you're ever not familiar with the journal title, however, you can always put that into a Google search to see what other people are saying about it, and maybe go to their website to learn a little bit more. But here it looks like everything's checking out. It seems good. But since this is a website devoted to our topic, if we're interested in learning more, a lot of times organizations like this one will compile research on their topic. So if we look up here, maybe under Resource Center, we see that there is a whole bunch of other research available. Here, these are all of the articles that have come out recently on this topic, and they put all the citations here for you. It does link out to the articles, and a lot of these are probably things that you could find the full text of in the journals and databases available through the Touro College libraries. So even if that first article may have had some good information, if you want to delve a little bit deeper into the topic, this would be a great place to look. Looking at the second website, this is also about SIDS. It talks about the risk factors and how to minimize them. There are a couple of references down at the bottom. But there are also a couple of things that we want to look at. Firstly, this is a subpage of a website rather than the home page. Since there's no home link or a header on the page, we can turn to the URL instead to get some more information. We can see here that it's a faculty page from washington.edu, so that's good. But if we want to know more about why the website exists, you can always try going a level up on the website. The way this works is that usually every / in a URL is going to take you back a page in the website, so you can try just deleting them one at a time and backing up. It's sort of like following a breadcrumb trail that lets you know where you are and lets you trace back your steps to the beginning. Here we see a little bit more information about the professor who wrote the webpage. He has his PhD and he's affiliated with the University of Washington, which is great, but if we want to know a little bit more about what he does, there's also a link to his personal webpage. Here we can see he's a professor, he has his PhD, but his degree is in psychology, which might be a reason for pause. So it does look like he works with neuroscience in some capacity. But if we're looking at a medical condition, personally I'd prefer a medical doctor over a doctor of psychology. Also, obviously we should be looking at the date here, which is 2001. And we saw on that other website that there's been a ton of research published recently. So probably there have been things that have changed maybe since 2001 that we'd like to be aware of. The bottom line is that this guy's a professor, he does have a degree, it does look like he does research in this area, but it's a little bit too old and not quite as authoritative as we might like. So even if the information here is correct, there's definitely better places to look for it and better things to cite in your bibliography. Even just looking down at the references that he gives us here, something like the National Sudden Infant Death Syndrome Research Center might be a good choice. It's another national nonprofit organization that will presumably provide plenty of up-to-date information. So even if you decide you don't want to use a particular source, if they have references or links to other websites, that might be a great place to find more information as well. When searching for information on a subject, remember to think about the who, what, when, where, and why of each source, and don't be afraid to do a little sleuthing to find the answers.